The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.
When the crew shows up on the job, they're going to have a folder that's going to give them exactly everything that I saw right at my first inspection. They would make sure that your kitchen is completely covered in plastic, make sure that 100% of the water and degreaser that is being used to clean your system is all going exactly where we want it to go. After everything is protected, we go through the whole system, scraping it all down. We would apply our degreaser, do a complete rinse through, and once the system is cleaned completely to bare metal, we wipe the whole hood system out, polish it, take the canopy down, pack everything away, and put everything back the way it was, and we're out of there.
Performance Industrial.
Welcome back, everybody, to Buying Local. I'm your host, Mike Nelson, joined today by a couple of guys doing a couple of things here in the community, in the fighting world. Don and Jay, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and who you are and what you do.
Jason Ingleston. I prefer to be called Jay. I'm getting rid of the Jason.
Getting rid of the Jason?
Yeah. The only person that calls me that's my mom, and she calls me Jace, which is even worse. Director of Operations, co-owner of Elite Fighting Promotions out of Saratoga Springs, New York. I've got to learn to add the Springs.
The Springs.
Yeah.
I mean, local people know Saratoga. Yeah. I think there's a Saratoga, is it Florida?
Saratoga Springs, Florida, I believe, too. And there's one in Georgia.
Yeah, there's a couple Saratogas around the country for sure. But there's really only one Saratoga.
It's Saratoga Springs.
We all know that.
Well, I went and seen Jim Florentine on Friday night at the Funny Bone, and he kept saying, Saratoga Springs. I'm going to be up in Saratoga Springs. I'm like, I guess I could use Springs.
Yeah, it makes us fancy. Yeah. And by the way, my mom still calls me Mikey.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
The struggle's real. I'm almost 50 years old.
Same here.
Still calls me Mikey.
What about you, Donnie?
Donnie.
I am Donald Walton, or Don, as most people call me. Or
The Don.
If I'm in trouble, it's Donald Bruce. So
nice.
DB.
Exactly. So
D-Money.
I am also a co-owner, and my primary job is the matchmaker, and I also handle certain operations, but Jay handles most of the adulting that I don't want to do. So.
The adulting. That's good. Yeah. It's nice to have an adult.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything you see as far as social media, anything that's written, any graphics, basically everything is done by Jay. My main thing is relations with the fighters and the coaches and stuff.
So, I guess we want to do a quick catch up for folks. So you guys, when was the last fight? That was in
March 30th.
March, that's right. So you guys recently did a fight promotion. Mm-hmm. Then you were DonnyBrooke, or affiliated with DonnyBrooke, right? Yes. Out of Vermont. Yeah. The fight, it was amazing. I shouldn't say fights. It was a whole evening of fights. It went really well, I thought, right?
Yeah.
But since then, you guys have decided to. You're still working with DonnyBrooke. Is that correct?
We're still affiliated with them in terms of we use the same streaming service, so we split the streaming service. We use the same sanctioning body. We use the same production crew, all that. We still work together. Yeah. And we also send fighters to each other, and we work together with that, helping with our matchmaking. Where sometimes if I call him, I say, "Hey, I need somebody at this weight, this kind of record, all that," and vice versa, where we help each other with our shows. Mm-hmm. But as we were talking, we're just like, what kept happening above all else was people would be like, "Oh, you're Donnie, so who's Brooke?" I'm like,
yeah. So there was a bit of some brand confusion there.
DonnyBrooke. And we sat down, we all had a meeting about it. DonnyBrooke works great out in Barrie, Vermont, but I said, we need something for the demographic of Saratoga, something that sounds a little bit different, where people don't know. DonnyBrooke is a Canadian term that means to have a brawl, but we are so far south of Canada in an area where people don't know what DonnyBrooke means.
People don't know what DonnyBrooke. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. So we were just
I tend to think I'm well read. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were just like, I think that we need a little bit of a name change, a different branding, and do it that way. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, and the backstory on that is Don actually bought the Elite Fighting Promotions LLC name prior to the construct of us going with DonnyBrooke, New York.
Gotcha.
So that was always floated around there, and to utilize that name, especially down here, it's just people don't understand it's two different worlds from Saratoga to Barrie. It's two different worlds from here to Schenectady.
Yeah.
Saratoga is its own little niche market. Like I think I pointed this out in the last one was there's always somebody looking for something to do on the weekend. So fighting might be new to some people, but there's other people that, like I ran into somebody that works at Primal down in downtown or by the mall. And he's like, oh, are you a fighter? Because I was wearing my Sakuraba shirt. And I go, no, I'm actually a promoter. He's like, oh, where? And I told him, he's like, oh, you guys are coming back to Saratoga? He remembered the Cage Combat days.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So I just think it's the name suits well down here. And, yeah, and our logo's pretty cool, too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we should also say, too, I mean, you guys ended up selling that the city center out.
Yeah, that was, okay. So that to me, we're looking at the pre-sales, and I'm like, all right, pre-sales, we did okay online. I'm like, we'll have a decent-sized show. And then all of a sudden, like an extra 400 or 500 people just walked up, and I'm just like, we're about ready to start the show. And they come out, they're like, Don,
it was packed in there, yeah.
Don't start the show yet. I'm like, why? And I remember Rex dragged me out, brings me outside, and goes, look, and there was a line all the way into the street. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is Easter weekend. I only got it because it was like a slow weekend, and like maybe there's nothing to do, so maybe we could get some people that wanted something to do. And the way it felt for me, it's like when you, as a kid, when you throw a party, you invite a bunch of people, you don't know who's coming, and you're hoping people come, and all of a sudden everybody comes, and you're just like, oh my God, like
nobody's coming.
Yeah,
This sucks.
I never know with those things.
Listen, I can imagine that's a really nerve-wracking thing. You spent a lot of money getting that fight promoted, renting out the city center, getting your fight, like, the time, money, and resources to put that all together, right? And then if no one, then you get crickets chirping, like that would be awful.
And I kept trying to reassure him, like, dude, the walk-up is going to be great. You're going to see. And then proof was in the pudding.
Yeah. I mean, and you had to know, like, all your tables were sold out ahead of time. Like, that's a good sign. Like, if your tables are all sold out ahead of time, like, all right, you're going to be okay.
And what's awesome this time around, our tables, there's two options, but one of the tables, if you buy it, you get an unlimited buffet from Druthers.
Yeah. Listen, I drank way too many IPAs at that last fight.
They ran out of beer.
Oh my God. That's because I drank it all.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I did not feel very well. I was not living my best life the next day.
Well, Druthers is coming more prepared this time.
Okay.
So there's going to be, 2 or 3 bars?
Yes.
The bar
instead of just the one.
Which the buffet, you'll get free food and free soft drinks.
Yep.
And then you'll have to pay for your alcohol. But there's going to be, Chris, at the last, can we cuss on here?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Chris at the last show goes, we got kicked in the dick. He's like, I didn't expect he's like, I didn't expect this. He's like, we never stopped the whole time. And that goes to show a lot for Chris. He don't have to work that show at all. He don't have to show up. He's got multiple businesses that he could be taking care of, and he showed up and got down in the...
Which I respect the crap out of him for that. I didn't expect him to be there, actually be catering. I thought he'd show up to the show and enjoy it. Yeah. But I was just like, wow, this is a man who sets the example for all his employees.
For sure.
Like, this is a man who shows up and he just loves to work, which, that's his own personal issue. I kind of understand it. But, I'm just like, wow, I was amazed by that, too. And Druthers did an amazing job. They really
oh, my God,
did.
the food was great, obviously.
Yeah.
The beer was very yummy.
Yeah. Partway through the show, the show started at 7:20, I want to say. Yeah. Because of the walk-up. Yeah. At 7, they ran out of one type of beer. And at 8:30, they had to go for a run to get more beer.
Oh, no kidding.
And then 10:30, luckily, is when the show ended. But they were like, we're out. There's nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun.
It's partially my fault because I stole a Sprite from my daughter early in the night. Yeah. So I think that's what screwed it all
That's
up.
what happened, I
just went and then took it.
Oh, my God. We had so much fun. So listen, and some of those fights were good, man. Like... all I remember is, obviously I remember Chad's fight. That was awesome. Yeah. But that one fight where the kid, picked the
Eddie
kid
Brown
up and,
he's our main
carried
event
him across the freaking octagon. That was crazy, dude.
So he picked him up and slammed him.
Oh, my God.
So he's our main event. Him, Eddie Brown, he's fighting Christian Alvarez.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was so much fun. I'd never actually been to a fight like that before. So that was it was just awesome. Yeah. I was like, I'm hooked, man. I'm in for the next 100 of these things.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and our main event will be our inaugural Bantamweight championship, which our belt is going to look pretty
And
good.
bantamweight, what's the weight for bantamweight?
135.
135.
Yeah.
God, I'm such a... I'm a fatty. What can I say? I'm like, man, 135. I haven't been 135 since I was like freaking 8th grade.
I've been spending the last 10 years maintaining like 170 pounds so I can fight at 155. Since I retired, I bulked all the way up to 195, which I'm just like, at first I was like, this is weird. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I'm really comfortable in my own skin now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when I first met you, you were blue when I first met, blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And you were definitely a lot smaller. I remember the first time that I rolled with you when you got back. And I remember like you grabbed a hold of me and pulled me out. I was like, holy shit, Don. I'm like, when did you get this strong? Because you are a strong dude now. But before, you were just good at jiu-jitsu. But now you're like strong and amazing at jiu-jitsu, obviously. So.
See, this is why I come here.
I know, just for the compliments.
Every man gets like 1 or 2 compliments a year, and that just sustains us. So
that's right. I'm gonna ride that one for a while. And apologize to everybody too. I'm kind of out of it. I got freaking Lyme, so I'm like, oh my god, I'm just all I want to do is go to bed right now. My whole body hurts.
My daughter does too.
My left side. That's it. So it was really funny because this whole week at jiu-jitsu, I'm like gassed. I got no energy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so Saturday, we're in class. Evan kicked my ass. I had no fuel. I just could not. I mean, again, he's probably like, late 20s or something like that. And I'm just an old man. But I had no stamina whatsoever. I'm like, what is going on? And I woke up yesterday, dude, and like my hand was so swollen and my elbow that I couldn't like move them. Or somewhere. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I didn't get hurt yesterday in jiu-jitsu. I'm like, that's not even correct. And then the little what the hell is it called?
The target?
No, the telehealth. I did a telehealth call and with the doc, and he's like, "Yeah, that's Lyme, buddy." Like, so we got me some doxycycline, but now I'm just like, whoa.
At least the pain's gone though, right?
Well, no, I'm still like I'm chugging Advil right now, and but it's still like. It's almost like really bad arthritis in my freaking hand, my wrist, my elbow, and the bite is like right here in my armpit. And it's just like, it's weird how localized it gets to.
My daughter got bit in like June, and then that following November is when it hit her.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're going on 3 years now. She's doing all right now, but when she initially had like the attack or whatever you want to call it, her hip and her leg. Yeah. She was like paralyzed almost in her right. Like her butt cheek all the way down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we're like, wow, something ain't right. So we went, sure enough.
And I get bit by ticks all the time. I mean, like every year, I'd probably pull a dozen or so ticks out of my body because of the farm and always working outside. And like even in the last 3 days, I've pulled out 3 ticks in the last 3 days. Oh, and I've never experienced this before. After years of getting bit by ticks, I've never.
Hers was weird. She was in the back seat. We were heading to the Gray Escape with all her friends, and she's like, "Dad, I got a tick on me," but it didn't seem like it was hooked.
Yep.
And then that following November, that hit her.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, you must have got bit.
Freaking Lyme. It's garbage. Anyway, so I just want to apologize to everybody if I'm a little bit slow mentally right now. But so when's the fight again?
July 13th.
July 13th. So tell everybody, like, tell me, forget everybody else. What happens? Like, oh my God. I can't even speak. What are all the things that go into putting
the protocol of
of putting a fight like this together?
So for me, my end of it is a lot of just communicating with fighters and coaches above all else. It's a lot of most people, I would say the majority for the way that I run it and the people that I communicate with are fighters and coaches who are down for a challenge, ready to fight. And I think a lot of people have discovered with me, if you message me asking for an easy fight, if you message me saying like, oh, I got this guy, he really needs a win, could you get him an easy fight? I don't do that. Because I'm all about one thing above all else, and that's quality entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of show I'm not the kind of matchmaker who's going to put together a fight to just put together a fight and try and sell tickets. I'm not going to take some guy who's highly trained and stick him with a guy who has no training.
Yeah.
I think it's more entertaining when you have either 2 guys who are well trained or 2 guys who maybe are not on that level yet and you have them fight each other.
Yeah.
And I think as long as it's an even matchup, that's the one thing I guarantee above all else on my end. Any fight I put together will be entertaining. And I do my homework before. I don't just have a coach message me saying, oh, I got this guy and this guy. And then I go to be like, okay, well, on paper it looks fine. But like I go, okay, is he a wrestler? Does this guy have a huge back, or does this guy have a bunch of Thai fights I don't know about? And so I do my homework on each fighter that's sent to me before I make the matchup.
I mean, I just think that, it makes for a good fight. Like, people want to see a fight. They don't want to see an annihilation.
This isn't
a massacre.
This isn't some show you show up to and you're just there to support your buddy and buy him a ticket.
Yeah.
And hopefully he does well. This is the type of show where people show up and they want to just come here and watch the fights. They don't care about who's fighting. They just know that they're going to show up and see quality. Yeah. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, I mean, if you set certain fights, it just doesn't become, a fight. It actually becomes an experience. That's what I always shout for.
Yeah.
Is because you cater to the audience. We could have these fights in a gym and not make any money. These guys won't go anywhere. Blah blah blah. This is a platform for them to utilize their skills and to be seen by the public, as opposed to some guys that just train and they don't have any aspirations to go any further, which is cool. But if we don't put on a show where they leave and everybody goes, well, that sucked.
Right.
That was horrible. And you want to cater, yes, you want to cater to your diehard fans, but you want hey, we're just going to go out on a Friday night or Saturday night and check out the fights for the first time. Them are the people you want to have come back, because your diehards are going to come back regardless. So we got to hook them people in. If you get a shitty fight, am I going to want to come back in? That was stupid, man. Everybody said this was going to be great, and this sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got to, if that were to happen, then you got to rebuild again, and then it's hard to sell the next fight card. But when you come in and there's an experience, because we got some cool shit that's going to happen at this, that we've added some bells and whistles for the show experience, not just the fights. There's going to be some other cool shit there. People are going to want to come back. And then then your brand becomes, you don't have to worry about tickets. You got your diehards, and then you got your casual fans are going to tell other casual fans, hey, you need to check this, this out. It's pretty cool. But if you make one-sided fights, or you do shitty matchmaking, or you're just looking to make $1, nobody's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's few and far between. It's kind of like John Taffert says in Bar Rescue about restaurants. You go eat once and it tastes like shit, you're going to come back the second time?
No.
Maybe, but the likelihood of that is like 79% you're not going to. So
yeah. I know I'm hooked after that March fight, man. I'm in for that stuff.
Oh,
And I got to tuck my business partner Brad into getting another table too, because that was sweet having the table and being able to sit there and hang out and drink beers and stuff. So.
Plus, you were right by the mayor too, which he'll be back this time around too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the mayor was sitting right near you. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't know. Oh my god, I'm probably better off I didn't notice it.
is that why he left?
Yeah, he, like the drunk guy next to me. And I'm telling you, I think it would be so much fun to do like an announcer's table, like UFC style. I want in on that. I'll be really fun, guys, as an announcer. You could probably film it YouTube live, and you could probably just do it with a cell phone.
Do a GoPro on it.
All right. So, what else about the fight people need to know that's coming up?
Opening day of the track.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really? Yeah, that's true. You guys got that going for you too.
It's the opening weekend of the track.
Holy moly! So it's going to be mobbed.
Yeah. So my whole plan is, so the track gets done probably like 5, 6 o'clock.
7, 6 or 7.
I don't know. I'm not a track guy.
So by the time you're done, you can head on over and watch some entertaining fights afterwards. You were betting on horse racing all day. And here's the thing:
relax.
When people get done with the track, you go downtown, for example. Most places have a cover charge during that time, and then you go in there and you're just in there to drink.
Yeah.
That's it. Maybe you get to socialize a little bit. Why not go spend the same kind of money, if not maybe a little bit more, depending on what seat you want, to go in and watch a show and still get to drink and have a good time and be entertained. Mm-hmm. So that's where I looked at that, and I just went, the whole reason I picked that day, I go, it's opening weekend of track. They gave me a couple of dates ago. I want that one. And I had some people that are like, are you crazy? I'm like, absolutely, I'm insane. Otherwise, I would have finished college. But
the original tagline for the show was Thoroughbred Throwdown.
Thoroughbred Throwdown. That's pretty good.
We had some debates, and I was just like, I understand why it sounds cool, but also I have a different image in my head when I hear that.
People start throwing horses.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, part of the reason why we had it, especially you'll see when you go on the ticket site, it says Racing Heritage. I'm like, yeah, it's a horse racing town.
Yeah, Racing Heritage, Fighting Spirit.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And for people that are just hearing you guys for the first time, if you didn't hear the other one, maybe we should talk a little bit of some background stuff too, right? Because, Don, obviously I've known you for a while. I see you all the time. And Jay, but so both of you, Jay's been in the fight world for a while now, right?
2008.
2008.
Training since 2002. Yeah, it's been a long, I want to say, fun journey at some point, but I know I've had my ups and downs. I've had, Don can contest to this, shitty business partner.
It happens.
Yeah, and I'm not here to shit on him. Just it wasn't a very At the end, it wasn't a very good relationship. Which you go your separate ways. And
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and It's funny because we're talking about this with a couple guys at the last show with Bob Hugas and Frank Palumbo, who started out. Bob was one of the referees when I fought in 2008, 2009. Frank Palumbo fought when I fought, and they were at the show as coaches. Mm-hmm. Well, what Frank's a coach too, right?
Yeah.
He helps out. And we're talking about we're like some of the last guys left from the original Burlington Brawl era.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we're still. Bob's like, yeah, man. Can you believe it's been 16 years? I'm like, no, I can't. But yeah, it's
That's one of the reasons back when I was fighting why I loved and respected Jay so much. There have been other promoters that I've worked with in the past where they don't understand the life of a martial artist. They don't understand the life of a fighter. And they were just down for their bottom dollar and they couldn't care about anything else. That's why when Jay was looking to do something and when and I were talking, I'm like, dude, we both fought, we both trained, we know how the fighters work. That's why we have a good relationship with them because we understand their lifestyle. We understand what they go through. And I think that's our biggest advantage above all else with the relationship with the community is we know these guys. We know everything about what they need to do to be able to get there. And so for us being former fighters, I think that also makes us better matchmakers and promoters as well.
Yeah. How did you guys connect?
So Jay used to be the promoter for Caged Combat, who I used to fight for years and years ago.
You fought one of my guys.
Fought a few of your guys.
Fought a few of my guys. Oh, yeah.
And we just reached a point where at one point I moved to California. As you know, I fought out there for a while. I came back, and Jay and I always had a relationship. And then Jay was working for a different promotion at the time, and him and I were talking. And I just reached a point where when I was in California, you had promotions every weekend. If you wanted to fight once a week, you could.
Was a lot of fights.
There was options galore for you to be able to compete constantly. We don't have that out here. So the whole reason I wanted to start this was not to compete with anybody. I didn't want to mess with anybody else's show. They can go play with their ball over there. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I started this because I go, we need more competition in our area. We need to up the quality of it. And what makes that better is by having more options for our local teams to compete.
Competition's good for everybody.
And what we've done is we've taken fighters who are not from this area, because there's already been another show that has had fighters fight each other all locally. We know who the local tough guy is. We're spending money on hotels and travel, getting people. I got guys coming from Buffalo. I got guys coming from New York City. I got guys coming from Kentucky, where I've created these relationships by traveling. Yeah, I got guys from Virginia. And where I've traveled so much fighting, because one thing I did with our team was I would take our fighters to other shows all over the Northeast. Like I just came back all the way I took a 12-hour drive to Indiana where one of my youth fighters fought one, and then I drove straight back. Yeah. So it was 24 hours of driving for me on top of coaching.
Was that Muay Thai?
Yeah, it was Damien.
Yeah.
So
he won, right?
Yeah, he won the Prime Fight.
He's a badass little kid, man.
Dude, that kid is going places.
Yeah.
So, and the big thing was I created all these relationships with these gyms that are surrounding our state. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, hey, I will pay your travel. I will pay your hotel. Yes, you have to travel. It's the pain in the butt to travel and cut weight at the same time. Sure. Mm-hmm. But I go, come here and fight our local guys. And so now our local guys get a new pool of fighters to be able to compete against and test themselves.
Yeah. So you're picking up the bill on some of their travel and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Because that doesn't really happen a lot in amateur fights, so doesn't it? Like a lot of those guys, they got to pay their own way, and it's costing them money to fight.
Yeah,
so that's
I'm
pretty
paying
sweet.
for the main event. We were paying for part of his flight just that way he can fly out here with his coach to be able to compete.
That's cool.
So I don't care. To me, there's no. I look at it as an investment. There's no expenses that I don't mind paying if it means that we get good quality out of our show. So, and as long as I'm not in this to make money, I hope I make something. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to pay the bills.
Which we can attest that we actually made good out last time.
Yeah, we did not go into debt over this. We made just enough money to put it back into the next show. And each time, basically, our plan for the next few years is we're not going to see a dime of anything that we make. It's all going back into the show, making so everybody gets better quality entertainment every time. Man. So I want to reach a point where we're able to be a pro-am show where I can pay professional fighters to be able to come out and fight and have even bigger aspirations for that. And be able to say, hey, I need a fight. There's this guy in California. Let me buy his flight and do it that way. But so I'd like it if eventually we could reach that point.
Yeah, that's cool. So, now I know you said you had some special things going on for this this fight. Are you able to talk about any of those things, or are they?
Oh yeah. I mean, we our DJ. Big shout out to Wyatt Roberts, who's doing the DJing and the lighting and this basically the sound for the broadcast. We're actually going to be doing a photo booth.
Oh, nice.
With replica belts that will be, ushered right into. You take the picture, it gets uploaded to Facebook. It's just another experience for, fighters or not fighters, for fans to have an experience. Just for shits and giggles, to have fun. And I think having multiple bars helps too. Last time was only one. Of course, we have the buffet, the upsell to the VIP tables, and then you have the regular ones.
Also, we'll have projectors up.
Yeah, so we'll have full.
That way, if you're like, I can't quite see, instead of having to stand up, you can just look at the projector on the wall and just be like, that's what's going on.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
and it's something to just make the experience better.
Yeah.
And this time around, we're using the entire room. So last time we didn't use the full space, as you saw where those walls are.
Yeah.
We're using the entire space.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fight,
more seating.
Yeah, more seating. The fighter walkout will be, I don't want to say epic, but it's going to be memorable.
Yeah. That one's going to be cool. I have a whole setup of how people are going to walk out. It's going to be pretty dope. So.
That's very cool. You said broadcast. You guys broadcasting?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we broadcasted last time.
Oh, you did?
We actually sold, 145
pay-per-views.
Wow. I did not know that.
For our first show, that's pretty impressive.
30 bucks a pop. Yeah, that was good.
All right, so I'm going to reiterate. How do I get on the broadcaster's table? That's where I want to be, guys.
I think all we have right now is
we only have two.
We only have two right now, so I don't see why not.
Can I just be the plucky humor, the comic relief?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, you'll have to compete with Ben Field for that.
Dad jokes and...
the dad jokes are my thing, and you know it.
All right. That's how I was trying to sell it.
I have a T-shirt that says "Dad Joke Loading."
Nice. Very nice. All right, so I don't want to keep you guys here all day, but what else? What else do we miss about the fight coming up here?
Shout out to our sponsors. That's by busting my ass getting more sponsors. We're hopefully have 3 more this week.
Nice.
If everything goes right. Our major corporate sponsor, our platinum sponsor, is Northern Lights Dispensary in Manans, owned by my buddy Joe Kelly. They've definitely gave us some monetary and emotional support for this show.
Nice.
So they'll be spread everywhere. They're on our social media. We got a big shout out to Niemer of Saratoga Jeep Chrysler Dodge.
Yeah.
Bill Albrecht up there. They're gonna have 1 or 2 cars at the fights inside. And what else we got?
Well, we got Druthers.
Well, we have Druthers, who's our Can we say lifetime sponsor?
Yeah, pretty much. I will always be using Druthers from here on out.
Oh my God.
Our emotional support sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. And also, that is the only place really I go out to eat whenever I have to take my girlfriend on a date. And I'm just like, Druthers, they have everything.
I just went to their Clifton Park location not too long ago.
I drove by there the other day.
Holy moly, what a place, man! Like it's not a brewery. It's like it's a freaking.
If you don't know where it is, then
holy moly! I like drive around back. There's like this outdoor pavilion thing. There's cornhole.
The one that's connected, he's pretty sick too, because it's right on the.
Oh yeah.
Right in the harbor, down by the casino.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, he's and of course I still haven't been over since they redid the 550 right over on.
I actually have not been over there either.
I know they changed the menu, and people were losing their minds about it, but.
And I didn't realize that he trains, right? He's a purple belt. Yeah. Yeah,
and also I teach him Muay Thai as well.
Oh no kidding.
He hits really hard.
Does he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty
big,
stocky guy.
Yeah,
right. It was really funny. I don't know if he remembers this, but years ago I was meeting someone at Uncommon Grounds, and I'm a bearded tattoo guy, and he was meeting someone, and he is also a bearded tattoo guy. And so I'm sitting there talking to this woman in this meeting, and like what she was saying to me didn't make any sense. I'm like, and I was so confused. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And just as I said that to this lady, he comes walking up with somebody else. He goes, hey man, you're in my meeting and I'm in your meeting. So like we had like somehow, because I had never met the woman that I was meeting, and he had not met the person that he was meeting, and so all they saw was bearded tattoo
That's
guy,
hilarious.
and they like did the hands up thing, and it's pretty funny. So that's my really only experience with Chris. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, Chris. So when I first met Chris, he started training as a white belt, and I just getting to know him, and he was just telling how like he was a lawyer. I had no idea that he owned Druthers.
Yeah.
And as we're talking, like, this guy's brilliant. I just really enjoyed my time with him. And all of a sudden, like, I found out some other stuff, how he owns Druthers. I'm like, really? Interesting. And then, when I moved to California, he helped sponsor me a little bit while I was out there.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
It was rough. And he said to me, he goes, dude, I remember going through law school and how much of a struggle it was. I can only imagine. I told him exactly how many hours a day I was training and how much money it cost to train when I was training. He goes, I got you. I'm like, thank you so much. This means the world to me. So it was really nice to have his support with that too. He's always been a huge supporter of everything that I do. Yeah. And so when I had this opportunity come up, he was the first person I called, because I just was like, Chris, I got something awesome. Think you totally be on board for this. And immediately he was like, I'm in. So I'm just like, fuck yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. He's definitely taking care of us.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Above and beyond.
Yeah. That man is, I don't know how he does it.
That's awesome.
Very tough guy to get a hold of, but
when you're able to.
When you're able to.
Yeah.
For sure.
So if you guys want to learn more about the fight, if they want to, buy some tickets online, like where do they find you guys in the digital universe?
You can go to our official website.
Official?
Yes, we have a website, believe it or not, in this day and age. It's elitefightingpromotions.com. There's a little blurb about us. And then at the bottom, you can scroll. It's get your tickets, go straight to Ticket Spice. If you're buying a ticket, click on the interactive menu of the seating chart, and that's how you get your ticket.
Yeah. Okay. Select your seat physically on the chart.
Physically select your seat.
You can literally go, I want this specific one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. As opposed to general admission, it's all in a box. You just click in. And because that's first come, first serve.
And then our social media, we have a Facebook, Elite Fighting Promotions, if you look that one up as well.
Yeah. No, we don't have an Instagram or a TikTok yet, but it's in the process.
Nice. Cool.
So that will be underway soon. But.
Yeah, and ticket prices are $55 for general admission, $70 for third row, $80 for second row, and $90 for first row.
And then if you want the VIP tables, there's two tiers of VIP tables. It's $510 for ones that don't come with the buffet,
which seats 6,
and then $800 for the ones with the buffet that also seats 6. But in my opinion, you might as well go for the $800, because think about the amount of money that you're going to spend on yourself. You're going to buy the $500 one, go buy food, come back, or you can just walk over and get the unlimited buffet, and it's about the same price.
I mean, Who doesn't love an unlimited buffet?
Exactly.
I'll eat $300 worth of food just myself.
Especially if it's a buffet. I got to get my money's worth.
That's right.
I can't let that go to waste.
Went in there $195, walked out $220. Guys, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks for the tickets. Thanks for the book too.
No problem.
Jay, you want to talk a little bit real quick about the
Sure.
the book?
It's my second book. It's my favorite book out of all of them. I'll go quick. First book came out, debuted at number 44 on the Amazon top 100 books.
Oh, no kidding.
That was released in July of 2021. The following September, I released my second book. It's called Let Me Fall Apart. They're all poetry books. This one's more very personable. The first one was kind of a hodgepodge of the last 25 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
This one, most of the poetry is from the year. I don't say it's a shitty year, but not the greatest year of my life. There's some uplifting stuff in there, but it just goes through, when you throw a book out there and it's you're very naked to the world.
Yeah,
you're very
vulnerable,
transparent.
for sure.
The first book was a learning experience to just, there's nothing. I think Don can contest to this. Like, I'm very honest. I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not a liar. I'm probably the most professional I can be when it comes to situations that we've run into with this whole promoting thing with certain people. The books kind of made me learn that in a way. Like, as long as you're cool and you're a good person, you don't wake up in the morning and try to motherfuck people, shit will happen for you. If you sit back and you're trying to shit on people, or you're trying to make everybody's day, or you're an asshole, shit doesn't get done. You're going to be in that pit. This was kind of opening up, and everybody that's read my books have given me great feedback. The first two were published through Amazon. My third one, Today There Is No Tomorrow, is published through Barnes & Noble. So and my fourth one will be back on Amazon because, little secret, Amazon pays a better percentage. So.
Wow. Well, and I mean, that's where people buy books.
Yeah, well, I fell into the old Barnes & Noble as a good percentage. It's like a 70-30 split. But with Amazon, there's more promoting that you don't have to pay for. So, and it goes to, with my first two books, I think I'm on like 14 different websites throughout the world. It was cool to see my name in, I don't want to say Arabic, but some weird language.
Yeah.
And then have my picture, and then I couldn't read the rest. So.
Nice.
But yeah, anyway, hooked you up with that.
Yeah, thanks for the copy, man. I appreciate it.
The fourth one will be out, and I'm pushing for July 5th at the moment, but things could change. It's not going to be poetry. It's going to be wake up, look at one page, and basically daily affirmations type shit. So
that's cool.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
That's my life in a nutshell.
Promoting
daddying and writing shit.
And writing stuff. All right. Well, guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. Thanks for the copy,
Thank you.
Jay. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and you'll hear from us next week.
Cerrone Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has offered residential and commercial plumbing, heating and cooling installation, and repair and maintenance services to our community for over 25 years. Their professionally trained plumbers and HVAC technicians are capable of completing any job beginning to end, and they promise to deliver unmatched customer service in the process. Cerrone Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.